Have you ever wondered if your client is really ready to buy or sell a home? Hey, it can be frustrating spending hours and hours and hours showing homes and they just don't seem to be motivated. Or you may have a seller that just doesn't seem motivated to want to sell the home. Hi, I'm Jason Williford, co-founder of Real Estate Expert Advisors with my partner Tracy Cousineau. Behind the scenes, I've trained all of our expert advisors and inside sales agents on lead conversion. I've also been blessed to be able to teach high-producing real estate agents throughout North America. One of the ways that real estate agents run themselves out of business is by working with clients that aren't motivated to buy or sell a home right now. This was the case for Tracy and I years ago. We would have a prospect that seemed interested in buying a home, but in reality, maybe they were a looky-loo. One instance that really sticks out to me was in 2012. We had prospects that were interested in looking at homes. They didn't want to get a pre-approval just yet. We spent hours and hours of time over a couple of months in assisting them. When you add up all of the time, with phone calls, pulling and showing properties, all the drive time, all the preparation, the time wasted, it really stacks up on you. 8 years later, the couple is still in the same house that they were back then. We've had many other cases of showing buyers weekend after weekend, and sometimes they just disappear, or a seller just would never end up selling a home. Ultimately, it wasn't their fault. It was our fault. If you want to change your results, you must raise your standards. For us, finally enough was enough. We had to put systems and processes into place to guard our time. It also is a disservice to the consumer in showing them homes that they aren't ready to buy just yet. One of the systems that we put into place is what we call the 4 buckets of timing and motivation. It's became a foundational principle for our company of how we segment our database in lead conversion, whether it be with one of our advisors or an inside sales agent. This is what I want to cover with you today. You can win back some of your time to work with more clients, but also make it to where you can spend more time with your family and not less. The first bucket, called bucket number 1, is buyers and sellers that are ready, willing, and able to buy or sell a home within the next 90 days. At the initial appointment, all decision makers will be present, and they are not currently committed to working with another agent. Now, obviously, if they do have a listing or a buyer brokerage agreement, we don't want to meet with them. But this could consist of prospects also that haven't signed an agreement, but they are truly committed to working with an agent. Most times, the latter, it's not the case. Now, everyone does know a real estate agent that's licensed. You can articulate your superior value with a great presentation. The second bucket, bucket number 2, are sellers and buyers. They aren't quite ready to make the move right now, but they are making a move within the next 91 to 365 days. These are also what we call a nurture. And you have to have a defined timeline. If it is beyond 365 days of the lead, it'll still be called a nurture. But if it's not called a nurture, excuse me, if it's beyond 365 days. But they don't meet the requirements to be defined as a nurture. When leads are nurtured properly, you can turn a cold internet lead into an inbound phone call of prospects that's decided to make a move sooner than expected. Nurtured leads, as a whole, they statistically end up buying sooner. They usually buy for more money, and they generally have a higher satisfactory rating as far as client experience goes. The third bucket, bucket 3, are defined as the looky-loos, the window shoppers, or the tire kickers that have no motivation to buy or sell a home. The final bucket being bucket number 4 Those are the ones that have no interest whatsoever, or they can't buy because of their credit, or they can't sell because maybe they're upside down in their mortgage or whatnot. Now that you have a good understanding of the 4 buckets, it's important to note that traditional home sellers and buyers are most often looking to make a move because of a life event. They may have a newborn, they may have gotten married, they may have a pay increase or had a job relocation, and they're looking for a bigger home. But on the other end, they may have had a death in the family, a divorce, pay decrease, or maybe they lost a job and they're looking to downsize. As we all know, life can happen very quickly, being that a bucket 3 can quickly turn into a bucket 1 and vice versa. But how do you know that they're really motivated? It's really an easy question to ask. And what has motivated you to buy a home? And then your next question, if you could wave a magic wand and be in your new home, when do you want that to be? Then you can pinpoint what has them thinking of making a move and when. You can put them in the appropriate bucket and follow up accordingly. Raise your standards and commit to working with clients that meet the bucket 1 criteria, the folks that are ready, willing, able to buy or sell their home in the next 90 days. And it'll exponentially change the way that you've currently been doing business. Hey, hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you would like a confidential and complimentary 30-minute coaching call, you can text Chase Scroggins. He's our Director of Agent Growth at 404-680-4324. Or you can send him an email at chasescroggins, REEA@gmail.com. Let him know in your message what you would like, and we're going to make it happen for you. Chase has sold well over $13 million in volume just this year alone through a pandemic. He's fallen in love with the process, and he can definitely help you win. Hope you have a great day, and happy selling to you.